event. I am truly honored to be invited to this occasion and I wish Channel 107 success.
Tamang kaalaman tungo sa malayang kaisipan. Ako po si Ferdy Isleta.
Ang kultura ay susi sa kadakilaan. Ako po si Annie Luis.
Isang oras lang ang kailangan. Ako po si Renena Peñas at ito ang
Padayon presents the NCCA Hour. Sulong na!
Padayon, the NCCA Hour. Sulong na!
He told stories and believed in them.
Mula sa mga maiikling kwento, sanaysay at mga artikulong na ilathala sa periodiko at mga dakilang nobela. Ang mga kaisipang kanyang pinanday at pinapanday ay malalim na nakaangkla sa mga katotohanang universal na sumasalamin sa mga buhay ng mga mamamayan. Kanilang mga pakikibaka, mga pinahahalagahan, at kanilang mga pinaglalaban. Ito ang kadakilaan na isang Filipinong manunulat na patuloy na inilalaan ng sarili para sa tungkulin. Ating kilalanin ang isa sa mga bayaning nabubuhay sa ating piling, pambansang alagad ng sining. Francisco Xioniel Jose.
I grew up in a village, Barrio Eha. I knew how it is to swim in the irrigation ditches, you know.
Ikatlo ng Disyembre taong 1924, ipinanganak si Francisco Sionil Jose sa mag-asawang Sofia Sionil at Antonio Jose. Lumisan ang kanilang ama at mag-isang itinaguyod ng kanilang ina silang magkakapatid.
My mother was a very industrious woman, and ang ginagawa niya, she made rice cakes na pinagbibili sa eskwela. And one of my jobs is to wake up early and yung nagkukuha ng bigas, yun, to grind the rice. The first time na I went with my mother to help in the harvest, kasi wala kaming lupa. I went there maaga, wala pang init to help in the harvest of the grain. I worked the whole day, pagod na pagod ako, pawis na pawis, kati ng katawan ko. Kukunti lang ng When I saw my share, I was 8 or 9 years old, Umiyak ako talaga, bakit ang pagod-pagod ko, ito lang. And my mother was laughing. Sabi niya, hindi atin yung lupa, hindi tayo nagtanim, tumulong tayo lang sa pag-ani.
Nagsumikap ang kanilang ina na sila'y makapag-aral. Ang kanilang ina ang siyang unang nagturo kay Franciscong bumasa.
She found out that I loved reading. So nung maliit ako, she would go around the town looking for books for me to read. Pati yung mga pinambabalot ng tuyo sa palengke, I'd read them.
Nabuksan ang mundo ni Francisco sa hiwaga ng panitikan sa murang edad.
When I was in grade 5, I was 10 years old. The first English novels that I read, Don Quixote de la Mancha by Cervantes, and the third, which is an American classic, My Antonia by Willa Cather. Yung No Limit Tangere. In that portion where the two brothers, Crispin and Basilio, were accused of stealing, I was so moved. It's a constant theme in much of my writing, the search for social justice of the Filipino and a moral order as well.
Sa kabila ng kanyang kabataan, natutunan rin ni Francisco ang kahulugan ng sakripisyo.
Graduation time came. My rubber shoes hindi na kasya sa akin because I grew so fast. So, ang ginawa ko, nakakita ako ng a block of wood sa silong ng bahay namin. Gumawa ako ng bakya. When I went on stage to get my school diploma and to give my salutatorian address, I had to lift my feet very carefully at nang hindi mag-ingay yung bakya ko. And I looked around, I really looked around, and I was the only one na walang sapatos. And that was the first time, for the first time, I realized that we were poor. In 1938, I moved to Manila. I went to school at 8 o'clock in the morning sa FEU. And the FEU High School nung araw was where Isitan is now.
Nag-aral sa mataas na paaralan ng Far Eastern University. Sumali si Francisco sa pahayagan ng eskwela, ang Junior Advocate.
I used to go to the National Library almost every afternoon. And I will read the entire encyclopedia. So, binabasa ko. And I remember seeing Manuel Argilla. In front of me at that reading table. At saka open shelves. You can go there and pick any book you like. I was in short pants. I was in high school. I was too ashamed.
Pumutok ang giyera sa buong mundo at hindi na nakatakas sa kasaysayang ito ang bayang Pilipinas.
I was living with a cousin na medical doctor. She was the one who inspired me to be a doctor too. I was working in her clinic, parang assistant. So, I know how to give intravenous injection. Yeah. Nung dumating ang Amerikano, I joined the American Army as a civilian employee sa medical corps nila.
Sa Universidad ng Santo Tomas, nagpatuloy sa pag-aaral si Francisco ng kolehiyo matapos ang ikalawang digmaang pandaigdig.
I wanted to be a doctor. Nung araw, 2 years lang ang pre-med. Biochemistry, lumagpak ako. In college, I was already writing. My stories were already getting published. So I switched to literature.
Kumuha siya ng bachelor sa sining ng literatura at nagsulat sa pahayagan ng universidad, ang The Varsitarian.
Isa naman siya sa matagumpay naming alumnus. Naririnig ko na ang kanyang pangalan dahil naging bahagi rin siya ng The Varsitarian, yung pinakamatandang pahayagang pang-campus sa buong Pilipinas dahil nga sa UST.
Habang nag-aaral, siya ay nagtatrabaho rin sa mga pahayagan. Nagsimula bilang katulong na patnugot sa United States Information Service taong 1948. Umangat sa ranggo si Francisco Sionil Jose bilang Associate Editor hanggang sa maging ganap na Managing Editor.
When I was 30 and I went to the United States for the first time, 30 years old, I already had 3 published novels. The Pretenders, 3, and My Brother, My Executioner. 3 and My Brother and the Pretenders, I wrote them when I was in my late teens and early 20s. Yung novels na yun, first, they were published as short stories. They were not published as books until the 1960s na. And the reason I did this, kasi alam mo naman, journalists don't make money. Ang bawa ng sweldo nila. I lived on my salary, augmenting it with the short stories that I wrote and sometimes articles. I told my children, sabi ko, ni isang butil na pinapakain ko sa inyo, walang nakaw.
Payak man ang kinikita bilang manunulat, ay nagsumikap at itinaguyod ni Francisco karamay ang minamahal niyang may bahay na si Teresita, ang kanilang pamilya.
When you talk of Frankie, you can't help but talk of his wife. No? Parang mahal na mahal namin siyang lahat.
Sa meeting namin sa Penang, lagi, kasi ang husay namang maghanda, ang husay mag-estima sa tao ng kanyang asawa ni Tessie. So tuwan-tuwa rin ako kay Tessie dahil every time mag-meeting kami, may mga handa siya, mga pika-pika.
I was 19 and he was 24. It was in a birthday party of a friend, his friend, in Sampaloc. He met me by the staircase. He asked his friend to dance with me. I said, I don't dance. And then he said, come on. Afterwards, we came to the boarding house and I asked him, whom does he want to see? His friend, and said, no, you. And then he asked me questions. What am I doing? You know, that's it. My parents came and my relatives came to know that someone was coming to visit me. And I told him he's a writer, he's a journalist. He said, no, no, no. Kawawa kang bata. While I was so much in love with him, I don't know if he's in love with me. So, so we love just like that. Usually writers this time and journalists don't have money. They don't earn a lot. We had no money. He had no money.
Sa mga pagsubok na pinagdaanan at sa mga sakripisyong inilaan, pinatatag lamang ng panahon at mga unos ang kanilang samahan at pamilya.
When he first had money to buy me pearl, that was the first gift he gave me. And after 25 years, that was the gift that he gave me was our wedding ring and engagement ring. He would always hold my hands and kiss me. And at night, he would always say, "Babe, I love you."
Malinis at may pagmamalaking pangalan, mga ginintuang pangaral, kanilang tunay na kayamanan at pamana sa mga anak.
They were very romantic. They would dance very often in the living room to the stereo. They had their favorite songs, and they had one song they'd like to dance very often was the Ramona.
One of his advice is to people who want to be writers is to have a partner who is supportive of you. That idea you see through how my mother has been very supportive of him, and they have a very incredible relationship.
My father actually encouraged us to do whatever we wanted. So if you wanted to paint, you could paint. If you wanted to play soccer, you could play soccer. And he didn't have any parameters for us to follow per se, but he wanted us to be independent.
We were so used to being awakened by the sound of the typewriter. He would type, any time of the day. So that was like our regular, life that we got used to.
The book was the most memorable one. He would give us a book at Monday, and by Sunday, he would ask questions to test whether we really read it. Mostly it was all classic books.
This is one thing nobody knows. He likes Yoshinoya, what do they call it? Gyudon. And of course, he likes going to stationery shops, and I like buying things for him.
He spends a lot of time with us. He talks to us with regards to his work and what he thinks about certain topics, whether it be about Afghanistan or politics. So it's some people might think it's a very intellectual conversation, but I think it's a very enriching conversation because you get to hear somebody who's a genius speak about any topics from history to literature to art to politics.
I'm very proud of him. Even my friends. Oh, Dad is F. Chinelo Jose. Yes! So I will say.
I guess we were lucky. We never saw things as black and white. There was always a gray part. And that grew up in us.
I was going out of the country, kailangan ko rin naman ng BIR clearance. So napunta ko sa BIR. Ayaw ako bigyan ng clearance because I owed the government daw several thousands pesos. Paano nangyari yan? Sabi ko, I only earn 350 a month sa Manila Times. Paano ako magkaroon ng utang na libo-libo? Ayun pala, merong fish magnate from Cavite ng pangalan Francisco S. Jose. So sabi ko, I'd better spell out my mother's name. Okay, yun. So Francisco Shuril Jose. Pero mahaba. So ginawa ko na ng F. Shuril Jose.
Sa pamamagitan ng matapang at matalas na pamamahayag, binulabog ni F. Shuril Jose ang mga kaisipan at natutulog na kamalayan, lalo na sa mga usapin at paksaing may kinalaman sa reforma ng lipunan at pagsupil sa mga ugat na pinagmumula ng kahirapan ng mga kababayang nananatiling apa at walang kakayahang lumaban.
His principal to me and fundamental role is being a consistent social critic of our society. And I've never seen a man so consistently raising his advocacy for fighting injustice and inequity in our society as long as Frankie has done. And in that sense, I think Frankie is the intellectual heir of Jose Rizal.
Ang maganda na nagawa ni Manong Frankie ay ang pagmulat sa atin noon, ngayon at bukas ng mga nagaganap na pang-aapi, lalo na sa mahihirap ng mga oligarkiya. No? Madalas nga niya sabihin na bibilang mo sa daliri ang mga pamilyang nagkokontrol ng ekonomiya ng bansa nating manamahal.
He inspires a lot of controversy, as I suppose anyone who asks really hard, brutal questions will, like he does. He asks questions like, why are Filipinos poor? Why are Filipinos shallow? Why are leaders failed? Why is it that our loyalties lie elsewhere, to China, to Spain, to America? And why is it so difficult for us to have a sense of nationhood? And even why are wealthy who are enriched by the Philippines are so unable to give back to this country?
I love his stories. I think I can only count very few who's as honest as him, even in his fiction. He's too honest, in fact, he's scary. Okay, the way he describes the war, the way he describes the, corruption in government or corruption in rich families or corruption in wherever. He's too honest that sometimes you think what you're writing is actually a news item or a factual, documentation of something that's fact. That's the one thing that grabs my attention always.
Napaka-strong ng mga paniniwala niya or opinion niya sa mga issue na para sa kanya ay importante at mahalaga. At ang mahalaga doon sa mga pinaniniwalaan niya ay laging nakatuon sa bayan, sa pagiging Pilipino.
Dahil sa angking henyo, husay at talas, siya ay dinala ng kanyang sining at paglilingkod sa iba't ibang ibayo ng kanyang bayan at ng daigdig.
As a journalist, I was interested in so many things the peasant movements, agrarian reform, modernization. I traveled all over the country. I joined the Manila Times 49 and I left it in 1960. Not once did I take a vacation. Pag panahon ko na magbakasyon, I went around the country. There's only one place in the Philippines that I haven't visited, and that was Kiangan, Kalinga, Apayao.
Came back and wanted to put up a journal, and he was looking for an office. And my father said, why don't you look up this place in Ermita? And he said, it's too big for me. I just want one room for the publishing house. And I said, why don't we have a bookshop downstairs? And that started it.
The bookshop is an important part of his story. It's kind of enabled him to kind of live the life of a kind of a writer, you know.
That quaint bookstore in Padre Faura has been the venue for a lot of very interesting meetings and exchange of ideas and discussions. For me, that's a very historic place.
Isa sa mga nagawa niya itong solidarity, the current affairs, ideas, and the arts, na salin ng solidaridad na pangalan naman ng kanyang bookstore. Ang paglalabas nito ng journal na kagaya nito ay malaking tulong, no, sa mga batang ibig mag-aral, hindi lang sa panitikan sa Pilipinas, particular sa panitikan ng Asia. No, dahil siya ay maraming mga kaibigan, manunulat na dakila na dinadala dito, pinagsasalita sa iba't ibang pagkakataon.
He ran a Solidaridad journal, no, where we used to submit poems, stories. I was published there myself when I was young. So he gave opportunities to writers. He's also been the most translated novelist in the Philippines. You know? It certainly helped that part of Frankie's indefatigability as a writer was that he also wrote voluminous correspondence. You know? That's what led to his being the pioneer of the Philippine pen. You know? He had associations with international writers from New York to Moscow. Pen has a very strong association with human rights consciousness, no? And it's quite political in the sense that its primary advocacy is to help protect writers, you know, from human rights violations, no? Yung mga nakukulong, ganyan, o napapatay sa iba't ibang bayan, no? Doon malakas ang pen. It stands up for the rights of writers, no? And it's a very strong organization internationally.
Ang isang kagandahan sa pen, poets, essayists, novelists sa Pilipinas ay ang pagtatangi sa mga manunulat lalo sa rehiyon.
Through him, in pen, that we were able to organize the Asian Women in Theater in the Philippines at the National Arts Center.
And first time I'd like to meet with the Sinoel Jose, and we are a good friend. And a pen club was a very interesting because Sinoel Jose visited to Hungary when he was very young, and the Hungarian pen club was established in 1926. Philippine Pen Club was established 62 years ago. The founder was the Sinoel Jose, and he was the first president of the Philippine Pen Club.
Ang panitikang nililikha ni Francisco Sionil Jose ay matapang na nananaghoy para sa karapatang pantao, etiko o marangal na tuntunin at katarungang panlipunan. Ang kanyang mga akda na nagbibigay liwanag at gabay tungo sa mga katotohanan ay sumasalamin sa kanyang magiliw na pagpapahalaga sa nakaraang palaging linilingon at isinasaalang-alang.
The Rosales saga in itself, nothing like that has been created in the Philippines. To tell the story of a nation of people that are heroic and incredibly talented. And at the same time, their tragic story, because through the years, it's just been a tragedy, for the Philippines. But then at the same time, the end might sound like despair, but it's really hopeful.
Yung Rosales saga niya, andun lahat, mula sa mga issue ng lupa hanggang sa urban setting, yung pamumulitika, yung corruption nila, yung paghahari ng mga naghahari-harian.
Dito pinakikita ang pang-aapi ng mga Panginoong may lupa na nangyaganap na dekada 50 pa lamang. Sa tingin ko, ito sa mga naghawan ng landas, hindi lamang sa panitikang Filipino, kundi sa panitikang Asyano.
Ako, my own particular Frankie Sionel Jose story that to me is a classic and that I'm very fond of was The God Stealers. Ang ganda-ganda ng tema ng storya na yun about an American na who goes to the Cordillera and befriends a native, and he was a collector, so they were buying these old bulols, ganyan. Kaya nga God Stealer.
I like Mass and I also like Waya because like Waya, like my father said, there's that love and devotion there. And to me, Mass is his best book. It's a very powerful book and it's amazing. People should read it.
I think I like more Viajero. It's about travel.
Isang masining at matapat na paglilingkod na naging bantayog at ehemplo, di lamang sa Filipinong kagalingan, kundi pati na rin sa pangmundong kahusayan.
F.C. Jose wrote it with a very strong Ilocano subject position in his writing, in English, without compromising his values and convictions as a Filipino writer. By writing and being highly acclaimed in the kind of English that he has produced, it's a brand of Philippine Ilocano English. He actually created a model for many other writers all over the country to follow suit.
Pang-sekundarya na lamang ang Ingles ni Manong Frankie dahil kapag naisali na siya, doon lumalabas lalo ang ganda ng kanyang mga akla. Mas napapahalagahan ang nilalaman kaysa anyo o sa wika na ginamit. Kasi nakikita niya o ng mga mambabasa na tagalabas, lalo ng mga banyaga, ang ganda ng kanyang pagkukwento.
Advantage yung pagkakasulat niya sa English. Yung subject matter, yung themes na sinusulat niya, ay Pinoy na Pinoy. On hindsight, sa lahat ng mga sinulat niya, napatunayan na universal yung mga sinusulat niya, yung themes na sinusulat niya, kahit na napaka-local ng context at saka ng situation.
Ang kanyang puso at dedikasyon sa paghawa ng landas para sa malalim na kahulugan at paglilingkod at pagtupad sa tungkulin, kanyang ibinabahagi sa pamamagitan ng kanyang sining na patuloy na inaalay. Alay na isang magiting Filipino sa sangkatauhan.
Ang makilala ang Filipino sa ibang bansa. Dahil yung kanyang mga nobela ay nakararating sa ibang bansa, nasusulat sa ibang lingwahe, at nakikilala ang Filipino, nakikilala ang ating aspirations people, nakikilala yung ating identidad. Talagang siya yung matatawag kung talagang tunay na tunay yung alagad ng sining niya ay nakikilala hindi lang dito sa ating bansa, kundi sa iba pa. At yan napakalaking ambag ni Frankie Sionel Jose. At parang sinasabing, oy, huwag niyo kaming mamalitin. We know your language. We know how to talk. We know how to write your language. And we know how to write it better than you. Iyan ang gusto ko kay Frankie Sionel Jose. He writes very well.
Malaki ang bahagi na ginampanan niya sa panitikang Filipino sa wikang Ingles sapagkat naipakilala niya ang Pilipinas sa ibang bansa. Kumbaga, nailagay niya sa mapa ang ating bansa pagdating sa panitikang pandaigdig. Katunayan bilang tagapagtatag ng PEN Philippines, Poets, Essayists, Novelists sa atin, siya ay kinikilalang kandidato natin para sa Nobel Prize for Literature.
He's very partisan for the poor. He identifies. And that's why he's not very popular he doesn't social class. I mean, he doesn't want to gain acceptance into the Philippine elite. He disdains them. Ironically, because he's such a good novelist, he keeps winning the prizes. They cannot deny him.
Sa paglipas ng panahon at paglaan ng kanyang buhay at sining para sa tungkulin, umani ng maraming pagkilala at parangal si F. Sionil Jose.
Pambansang alagad ng sining para sa panitikan, F. Sionil Jose.
Ngunit sa kabila nito'y isang mas makabuluhang gantimpala ang tunay na hinahangad ng isang matapat na kritiko ng kamalayang Filipino. Sa dapit hapon ng kanyang buhay, ang tunay na pagdinig at pagtugon sa mga panlipunang pakikibaka na kanyang patuloy na isinasatitik at ipinaglalaban.
When was the time, sir, that you think or you realize that you are made already? You are F. Sionil Jose.
CJ, itong tanda ko na ito. No, I am honestly speaking. I still have great insecurities as a writer. No, because, alam mo, you're only as good as your latest work. Eh?
Correct.
You have to compete with yourself all the time. At saka maghusay din yung insecure ka eh. Pwede kang magyabang, you know, but you have to be honest to yourself.
He has a famous essay, I recall, about what he calls the shallowness of the Filipino, to which I subscribe. No? Na yun ang isa daw sa pinaka-frailty natin, mababaw tayo. Yung nakikita daw to, yung pagkapopular ng mga TV soap opera, imbis na mas matataas na antas ng art or creative expression. No? Definitely, para sa akin, may kinalaman yan sa lack of educational opportunities binibigay sa Pilipino. Yun ang hamon sa atin. Paano nating malalampasan yung kababawan na yan?
Baka doon, malalaman natin paano natin itutuon yung interes ng mga mambabasa sa mga katulad ni F. Sionil Jose kasi mahalaga yun. Baka nga yun yung sinasabi ni F. Sionil Jose. Isa sa mga essays niya na tinatanong niya why we are so shallow.
Bata pa ako, ha? Okay. And I remember I'm close to the village. And I found out that in many instances, ang kalaban natin sarili natin. The mindset of most Filipinos, especially the very wealthy ones, kulang ang pagmamahal ang mga Filipinos, particularly our leaders, for this unhappy country. Because if you love this country, hindi tayo ganito. There is no reason why we should be like this.
Sa bawat panitikang ilinuluwal ng kanyang tungkulin bilang manunulat, panibagong pag-asay isinisilang din ng kanyang mga akda.
Kaya siya national artist dahil mahusay siyang manunulat ng mga literature niya. Diba? Maraming nakakakilala sa kanya dahil nga sa galing niya. Nakakatuwa na naabutan pa natin siyang gumagalaw pa at buhay at habang yung mga trabaho niya ay unti-unting nagagawa. Diba?
Well, yung kanyang mga nobela ay patunay na marami siyang gustong sabihin tungkol sa lipunan at iba-iba yung mga tauhang kanyang nalikha upang mailarawan ang buhay sa lipunang Pilipino. Pagpatuloy niya ang kanyang matalisik na pagsusuri sa lipunang Pilipino.
Very generous and open and very accessible especially to emerging writers and students.
With him, you don't have to guess what is in his mind, because what is in his mind, he tells you, and what he tells you is what he meant.
He's one of those people who will never let go, who will never let go of the protest, and above all, never let go of the dream. You know, that's what writers are about. I think that ultimately what makes him a great writer, because he is a writer not for himself, but for the people.
You know, my father, even to this day, he's 93 years old. He gets up at odd hours of the night and he writes. He is constantly writing. He carries a pocketbook in his pocket, and when he sees something, he writes it. And at the same time, when he rides in the car and he observes things, and he says that.
But I think for Filipinos, his greatest achievement is what he has written. I think he has opened a lot of eyes of the young people.
A lot of people love his work, and he gets approached by a lot of people, and they tell him how much they changed his life by reading his story. So for example, these kids from senior high, they came because one of them had heard him speak, and they told him that they wanted to introduce Philippine literature by having him come to the school to talk to their classmates. And this, boy just tells him, I just read one of your short stories, but it really changed how I looked at things.
I think it's never too late. Whether bata ka na nagbabasa na, or tanda na nagbabasa rin, it's never too late to discover F. Shonil Jose. And even if you know him, it's always a different experience if you rediscover him. And at the same time, napaka-precious kasi buhay pa siya, nagsusulat pa siya, ang dami pa niyang ginagawa.
Mga obrang ipinagmamalaki ng Filipinong kalinangan ay salamin ng kanyang kadakilaan. Ang kanyang pusong inialay para sa mga Filipino at kanilang tunay na kalayaan, kaniyan ang kin na kabayanihan.
Number one, to be truthful. To be truthful. Magsalita ka ng totoo. That's about the best that one can do. The writer who bears the truth also bears freedom. When you bear the truth sa pagsusulat mo, it's not just for you or for your people. It's almost for everyone. It becomes universal. And that is what art really is. Real art is universal.
Francisco Shonil Jose, pambansang alagad ng sining, dakilang sagisag kultura ng Pilipinas.
Ako ay Pilipino, lahing matapang, lahing matalino, nalakbay ko ng mundo.
Walang unos o bagyo sa aking gugupo, lahi ng matatag. Ako ay Pilipino.
Ako ay Pilipino.
Ako'y makadiyos.
Ako ay Pilipino.
Ako'y makatao, saan man makarating, sino mang makapiling.
Aangat ang galing habang buhay, Filipino.
Filipino.
Tumikot sandaang mga isla, magkakahiwalay ngunit nagkakaisa. tahanan ng aming lahi, mga pook na aming nilimiti.
Puno ng kasaysayan, puno ng hiwaga,
sa mga lugar na ito nakatanim ang ugat ng pagka-Pilipino.
Ako ay Pilipino, ako'y makadiyos. Ako ay Pilipino, ako'y makatao. Saan man makarating, sino mang makapiling, aangat ang galing habang buhay. Pilipino, Pilipino.
Kami ang lahing kayumanggi mula sa bughaw na langit at dagat. Mula sa pulang animoy dugo, hinalo sa dilaw na araw at bituin.
Yan ang kulay ng katatagan, yan ang kulay ng kagitingan,
Ungkapan na sumisigaw, yan ang Pilipino.
Ako ay Pilipino, ako'y makadiyos. Ako ay Pilipino, ako'y makatao. Saan man makarating, sino mang makapiling, aangat ang galing habang buhay. Pilipino,
Ito may dala ng pagkakataon o sadyang binuot naging okasyon.
In a world and time when so much is changing, there is still so much of our culture that has to be documented and kept alive. Who are the bearers of these precious living cultures? How do they pass on a knowledge transmitted through the ages? What they represent has survived colonization, conflict, marginalization, and yet they persist. Sila ang sisidlan, the living vessels that store dayaw, our knowledge, our pride. In the past 3 episodes of Dayaw Season 4, we've met the culture bearers, the Gawad Manlilikha ng Bayan awardees, 13 individuals who steadfastly clung to the highest standards of their culture and artistic traditions. Sisidlan is a word that best describes these vessels of tradition. In this episode, we look at other vessels, men and women who have chosen to study, record, document, and teach these artistic traditions to a greater public. The field that they have chosen is Filipino folk dance and performance. It is a difficult mission that they have chosen, but you will experience for yourselves their passion, their dedication, their all-consuming love for this aspect of our culture. Who are the vessels who have borne the dances of our indigenous peoples and brought them to the cities and urban centers, teaching them to students and professionals? Our survey includes the performing groups that have been founded by the late national artists Ramon Arevalo Obusan, Francisca Reyes Aquino, and Lucrecia Reyes Urtula. Add to these visionaries the names of folk dance stalwarts Cora Inigo and Ligaya Amilbangsa. But their story is also the story of many young Filipinos who have chosen to go against the grain of popular culture, to learn about and yes, to keep alive the dances, rituals, chants, and even the philosophies of our indigenous peoples. And yet the question must be asked, in the transference of knowledge, in the translation of actual ritual into staged performance, is a true spirit lost.
In a community, people perform from themselves. They do not perform for an audience. Otherwise, everybody, in a way, is a participant. And this is the nature of the dances in our community. For example, if you have a village ritual, the village ritual will involve dancing. The Subli of Batangas, this is done during, well, May, in honor of, the finding of the cross of Santa Elena, no? So this is a ritual that is devoted to, as a form of devotion to Saint Helene, no? To the cross, and it is actually not only dance, it's actually a ritual complete with mythical basis. It's music, chanting, because in our traditional communities, art is not separate, it's not divorced from ritual.
The home of the late national artist for dance, Ramon Arevalo Obusan, is a repository of his archives, his documentation and notation of dances collected from the field, his vast collection of textiles and costumes and artifacts. Recently, as specified in his will, the Ramon Obusan Foundation has opened the house and the collections to scholars and researchers as ang Bahay ni Kuya. But the house has always been open to dance enthusiasts and students, generations who have imbibed the late national artist's love for all things Filipino. Here, where the members of the company carry on the tradition of teaching, it is not only dance that is learned, from the mano po greeting that is mandatory for all who enter, to learning the dances with bare feet so as to be closer to the earth, to the bayanihan spirit that animates all productions. The Obusan experience is one where the best values of our culture are nurtured and ingrained in young Filipinos.
1, 2.
Dulce Obusan, who took over the company's management after her brother passed away in 2006, talks about the legacy of her brother and his consuming passion.
He was a maverick. He did things that not a lot of people did in their time. He was a dreamer. He was exceptional in what he did. His biggest legacy is what you see. Anytime you see a dance performed that was researched by him, choreographed by him, it's the brand. Anytime you witness any of the performances of the other groups that try to mirror what we do, that's his legacy. Education, just raising the awareness of the kids. Not even just the kids. I guess everybody. It's a nice way to speak of what we're trying to do. That is to make sure that our traditions just don't go by the wayside.
Teaching the research and passing it on to a new generation of interpreters is a job that Obusan's protégés, his most loyal students, take very seriously. The work is, after all, more than just a methodology. It was a lifetime of experience learned firsthand from a master.
Number one is discipline in terms of time. You have to know when to come on time. Yun ang number one training sa amin ni Kuya Mon that he really passed on. He calls for a rehearsal ng 9 o'clock. Dapat makarating ka bago mag-9. Second, discipline also sa pag-intindi sa sarili mong gamit. It's not just the dancing that he taught us. It's the preparation that matters sa kanya more than anything. The process that he does not only limit you to become a dancer. Slowly, nagiging costumistress ka.
Nobody's indispensable. Kahit pa soloista ka, star dancer ka, if you consider yourself one, kung member ka ng core, ng dance, Pero if you make a mistake o na meron kang nagawang foul during training or on or before the performance, talagang papalitan ka niya. Wala siyang pinipili. So, everybody has to stand by. Everybody has to learn their position sa sayaw. Everybody should learn the dance para just in case na may papalitan, somebody would always be ready.
Isa sa mga lessons na nakuha ko sa kanya is yung love your own, yung talagang pag Pilipino ka, yung dapat, yung correct yung pagkakakilala mo doon sa, not just as collective na Filipino, but yung mga tribo, ano siya, is part of the training, not, hindi lang dance talaga, yung mga tribo, yung mga from the north, down to south, talagang, may mga ano pala sila differences kahit na collective na at Filipino. So, kilala mo na sila the way yung isa-isa po nilang line, pero then saka makikilala mo talaga the whole yung pagiging Pilipino mo po.
We have a very rich history of traditions. Our culture is so diverse. Nowhere else around the region has a culture as beautiful as ours. And that's our job. It was Kuya's job to make sure na hindi mawala, hindi makalimutan.
How does a company adapt a traditional ritual or dance meant for a ritual space or village square and transform it for stage for an audience that wants not to be as involved but entertained and educated? In translating a dance into a showpiece, how does a company create a brand that represents not just the indigenous and the folk, but the entire Philippines?
Francisca Tirona Benitez, the mother of Tita Helen, thought that there should be a real center that would go into full research. And therefore, the following year, the Bayanihan Folk Arts Center was established with its own board. So they went into full research to find out more about Filipino heritage. In 1958, they wanted to bring Filipino representation to the Brussels World's Fair. So Tita Helen at that time met with a lot of civic leaders and politicians to find out. She said that maybe the best way and not as costly is to bring these young people to represent the Philippines, because there were talks about bringing jewels, the gold jewels, and so many things. So that was the international debut of Bayanihan at the Brussels World's Fair. This was now called Bayanihan Dance Group, and it was really comprised by Filipino students, PWU students, both from PWU in Davao, because there's a Philippine Women's College in Davao, and PWU Manila, and they started to enjoy promoting Bayanihan. Aristocrat impresario Sol Hurok heard about the dance company and invited the company to go to the US. And that was the entry of Bayanihan to Broadway. So in 1959, October 13, Bayanihan performed at the Winter Garden and Broadway and got all these fantastic reviews.
Vincono il premio Tempio d'Oro 2015 le Filippine!
now, with this new generation of directors, when we came in, we somehow did not stick to that kind of programming. We have our own idea of how we will present the Filipino program in a totally different manner, still keeping the essence of folk as started by the pioneers.
In terms of technique, I think Bayaninas retain the way it should be, except that, you know, it's the generation that changed. Unlike before, all is pa-cutie-cutie, you know, when you dance and all that. And then, when I took over, I noticed something, you know, the now generation is totally different, especially the millennials. They don't they're easily bored with what they're doing, so they love excitement and something which is very daring and thrilling in terms of dancing. Before, it used to be male and female dancing together. So I have observed that if a dance is performed by a boy and a girl, the dance tends to be soft. And, you know, the boys are like secondary, something like that. So I thought of coming out with dances with all boys, taking away the girls' part and to make it stronger. I started with mga martial arts and also like maglarating. I made it more brisk and more staccato. Unlike before that, you know, it goes so. I took away the soft part, all very, very, very strong and brisky movement.
So we've had 14 major world tours and more than, hundreds and hundreds of short tours. And then we have covered 6 continents, 77 cities. Beautiful experience in Bayanihan. And I think a lot of us then joined because we love to dance. And suddenly we realized that we were bringing with us something that was so beautiful, because suddenly you see standing ovations and the acceptance of so many people.
In Diliman, the UP Filipiniana Dance Group continues a long history of teaching and performing with students. The Diliman campus grounds often provide dramatic backdrops for both rehearsal and performance. The youthful spirit of the company belies its history. The UP Filipiniana Dance Group is the oldest of the dance companies featured here. Its young artistic director traces the company's growth.
The Filipiniana Dance Group was founded in 1935 by the first Philippine national artist for dance, Professor Francisca Reyes Aquino. And then after that, nagkaroon po kami ng mga 7 more artistic directors from the college. Si Professor Buendia, Zafra, Agsalud, and many more, including po si Professor Corazon Inigo. During her time, she was able to bring the Filipiniana to the world sa iba't ibang competitions and festivals. And dun po nakilala ng lubos yung Filipiniana. Filipiniana is a varsity group. So we are also called student athletes. But of course, we'd like to call ourselves student artists. These dancers, they are under contract to serve the university as dancers, as folk dancers, and also jazz dancers, kasi yun yung ino-augment namin sa aming folk dance. So in an academic setting, varsity po sila. So kung ano yung basketball varsity, ganun din yung responsibility ng Filipiniana. Gina-juggle nila yon. They work every day for 3 to 5 hours na training, and they have academics in the morning. When they get to Filipiniana, ang hinahanap lang naman po namin ay syempre marunong sumayaw, may background ng konti, madaling turuan, may disiplina. Yung height tsaka yung body type, wala naman kaming pinipili as long as makapag-work kami with them and hindi naman sila naiiba sa the rest of the people in the group, no? So also as long as they can cope with the academic yung rigors ng academics dito sa UP. In my directorship kasi, I want to be collaborative since hindi ko naman maaako na expert ako sa Philippine folk dance. So I have alumni, I have friends in the community who come and help teach. They also impart different knowledge from their own learnings, and that's how we create a multifaceted individual when it comes to Philippine folk dancing.
The dance story of Ligaya Amil Bangsa is essentially a love story. A love story that spans almost half a century. A love story that continues today even without a formal dance company.
In 1969, I attended a big wedding in Olosulu, and I saw this lady, this young woman, perform pangalay. I was mesmerized. Galing. It was really different from what we call pangalay in Luzon, the ones that I sometimes see in cultural presentations in Manila. So sinuous, what is this, very elegant, no attitude problem, like ganyan sa atin, no attitude problem. When I was invited to teach at the Sulu College of Technology and Oceanography in 1972, I was able to study pangalay, talagang in-depth. I said, I have to learn this dance, because I told my husband, in 50 years, if I don't learn this dance and document it, it will be lost. And true enough, it may not even reach 25 years and the dance is already so much watered down. Many postures and gestures have been almost forgotten. It's only now when we perform that they call, oh yes, my grandmother or my auntie or my mother used to do that movement, see? So I really studied it and documented it. And I was able to write a book about these dances after 13 years. 10 years of studying it so that I can learn it. How do you call that? Proprioception. So that it can be memorized by my muscles. So I can perform it well enough that I can teach it. I had to learn from the natives themselves because there's no formal method of instruction. I was the one who developed the formal method of instruction after so many years of studying.
I think this is one solution to make it as authentic as possible. But of course, it's already really out of the context of the community. But still, you will show the communal context. Parang buhay Pinoy. How does the Filipino live in this part? No? So this is the aim of Emilia Wilbansa. And also, UP Filipiniana, to a certain extent, tries to contextualize the dances. Ramon Abusan is very contextual when it comes to the costuming. I would like to, appreciate the attempts of all these dance groups like Bayanihan, Ramon Abusan, UP Filipiniana, and the one of Ligaya Milbangsa in trying to, well, show who we are as people in as faithful a manner as possible. Although they don't really, many of them, especially by hand, don't really claim that their dances are that authentic. That's why they are contemporary interpretations of our folk dances.
How wonderful it would be if all Filipinos could, at one point in their lives, be a part of a folk dance troupe and think of what could be imbibed: the discipline, the grace, the community and team spirit, the appreciation for a rich culture. Think of the fun of communing, of learning to move as a group, of doing one's part towards the achievement of a common goal. Maybe not everyone will be perfect, including me, or most graceful dancer, but surely any young Filipino would come out of a folk dance group would be a better, more conscientious Filipino. After all, if we can learn to dance as one, maybe the idea of a nation united and attuned towards a common goal may soon be a reality. In every movement, in every dream, a reflection of Dayao, our knowledge, our pride.
kulang na nga kami sa tubig. Minsan na nga lang may tubig, gabi na nga lang. Tapos kulay brown pa.
So kulang tayo talaga ng water impounding just for the household use.
We have to balance the need to protect public health saka yung quest for justice.
Short but very striking, may impact.
There's no balance there at all kasi everyone is scared for their lives.
Pag document kasi hindi mo siya makikita kung authentic ba siya, genuine, sa video conference.
Dahil nabawasan po yung kanilang work rate, mababawasan din po yung kanilang kita.
I think nature is sending us a message to go back to the basics, embrace living a minimal life.
Tuwing Huwebes, alas 8 ng gabi sa TV ko to.
I would like to congratulate TVQ2, Channel 107, for their new channel that they are coming up with. I hope that you will continue to give the service and the information that our people are expecting. I am sure that you will be an important part of all the historical events here in the Philippines in the future. Congratulations.
Sa lahat po ng mga bumubuo at nasa likod ng TV ko to, congratulations po sa inyong paglulunsad at good luck sa inyong mga susunod na mga proyekto. Kung dati ay sa iba't ibang social media platforms natin mapapanood ang mga programa ng TV ko to, ngayon naman ay mapapanood na rin ang inyong mga programa sa Signal TV. Ito ay may tuturing na isang napakahalagang hakbang upang maabot ang mas marami nating mga kababayan sa paghahatid ng saya at impormasyon. Kaya sa ating mga kababayan, inaanyayahan ko po kayong subaybayan ang TV ko to sa Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at YouTube. Pwede rin ninyong mapanood ang kanilang programa sa Channel 107 sa Signal TV. Muli, congratulations sa lahat ng mga bumubuo ng TV ko to. Hangad ko po ang inyong tagumpay.
Congratulations to TV Koto. I wish you success on this mission to educate, entertain, and serve our people. May you truly create meaningful impact on the life of this community and become an instrument of positive change in society. Mabuhay po ang TV ko. Ito po Senator Francis Tolentino.
Good luck sa TVQ2, a newborn TV network and social media channel. Please watch its viral, informative, and educational shows on Channel 107 on Signal TV. Good luck, TVQ2! Congratulations to Signal TV on the launch of TVQ2 on Channel 107. I wish you all the best as you grow your audience through informative and educational programming.
Good day to all and congratulations to everyone behind the launch of Signal TV Channel 107 in partnership with TVQ2. Media has always played a huge role in informing our people through its news programs, educational shows, and other creative television content. Indeed, most of our Filipino brothers and sisters receive updates through television and other forms of media. Yet, as technology provides new avenues for information dissemination and awareness, it can also be a source of fake news and misinformation. I therefore hope that Channel 107 will be the government's partner in delivering accurate and factual information to the people. I also hope that Channel 107 will showcase the best of our talents in the media industry by promoting Filipino ingenuity and creativity. Let us patronize our own shows that exhibit good values and learnings, not just for the majority of Filipino viewers, but also for the younger generation who will soon be our future leaders and change makers. As I end, I would like to congratulate everyone behind this momentous event. I am truly honored to be invited to this occasion and I wish Channel 107 success.
When you trust the women, nai-empower mo na
You
siya.
need to understand na lahat talaga nagkakaroon ng adjustments.
Explain yourself too much, we're all on survival mode. Forgetting is not healing, you know?
Kailangan ng psychological clearance.
Dito pa rin sa programang Women! 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 Pampaganda ng umaga.
Pampa-
GV. Yes, pampaganda. Good.
Kulang na nga kami sa tubig. Minsan na nga lang may tubig, gabi na nga lang. Tapos kulay brown pa.
So kulang tayo talaga ng water impounding just for the household use.
We have to balance the need to protect public health saka yung quest for justice.
Short but very striking, may impact.
There's no balance there at all kasi everyone is scared for their lives.
Pag document kasi hindi mo siya makikita kung authentic ba siya, genuine, sa video conference.
Dahil nabawasan po yung kanilang work rate, mababawasan din po yung kanilang kita.
I think nature is sending us a message to go back to the basics, embrace living a minimal life.
Tuwing Huwebes, alas 8 ng gabi sa TV ko to.
I would like to congratulate TVQ2, Channel 107, for their new channel that they are coming up with. I hope that you will continue to give the service and the information that our people are expecting. I am sure that you will be an important part of all the historical events here in the Philippines in the future. Congratulations.
Sa lahat po ng mga bumubuo at nasa likod ng TV ko to, congratulations po sa inyong paglulunsad at good luck sa inyong mga susunod na mga proyekto. Kung dati ay sa iba't ibang social media platforms natin mapapanood ang mga programa ng TV ko to, ngayon naman ay mapapanood na rin ang inyong mga programa sa Signal TV. Ito ay may tuturing na isang napakahalagang hakbang upang maabot ang mas marami nating mga kababayan sa paghahatid ng saya at impormasyon. Kaya sa ating mga kababayan, inaanyayahan ko po kayong subaybayan ang TV ko to sa Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at YouTube. Pwede rin ninyong mapanood ang kanilang programa sa Channel 107 sa Signal TV. Muli, congratulations sa lahat ng mga bumubuo ng TV ko to. Hangad ko po ang inyong tagumpay.
Congratulations to TV Koto. I wish you success on this mission to educate, entertain, and serve our people. May you truly create meaningful impact on the life of this community and become an instrument of positive change in society. Mabuhay po ang TV ko. Ito po Senator Francis Tolentino.
Good luck sa TVQ2, a newborn TV network and social media channel. Please watch its viral, informative, and educational shows on Channel 107 on Signal TV. Good luck, TVQ2!
Congratulations to Signal TV on the launch of TVQ2 on Channel 107. I wish you all the best as you grow your audience through informative and educational programming.
Good day to all and congratulations to everyone behind the launch of Signal TV Channel 107 in partnership with TVQ2. Media has always played a huge role in informing our people through its news programs, educational shows, and other creative television content. Indeed, most of our Filipino brothers and sisters receive updates through television and other forms of media. Yet, as technology provides new avenues for information dissemination and awareness, it can also be a source of fake news and misinformation. I therefore hope that Channel 107 will be the government's partner in delivering accurate and factual information to the people. I also hope that Channel 107 will showcase the best of our talents in the media industry by promoting Filipino ingenuity and creativity. Let us patronize our own shows that exhibit good values and learnings, not just for the majority of Filipino viewers, but also for the younger generation who will soon be our future leaders and change makers. As I end, I would like to congratulate everyone behind this momentous event. I am truly honored to be invited to this occasion, and I wish Channel 107 success.
When you trust the women, na-empower mo na
You
siya.
need to understand na lahat talaga nagkakaroon ng adjustments.
Explain yourself too much for all on survival. Forgetting is not healing, you know?
Kailangan ng psychological clearance.
Dito pa rin sa programang Women! 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 Pampaganda ng umaga. Pampa GV. Yes, pampagod. Good vibes.
Kulang na nga kami sa tubig. Minsan na nga lang may tubig, gabi na nga lang. Tapos kulay brown pa.
So kulang tayo talaga ng water impounding just for the household use.
We have to balance the need to protect public health saka yung quest for justice.
Short but very striking, may impact.
There's no balance there at all kasi everyone is scared for their lives.
Pag-document kasi hindi mo siya makikita kung authentic ba siya, genuine, sa video conference.
Dahil nabawasan po yung kanilang work rate, mababawasan din po yung kanilang kita.
I think nature is sending us a message to go back to the basics, embrace living a minimal life.
Tuwing Huwebes, alas 8 ng gabi sa TV ko to.
I would like to congratulate TVQ2, Channel 107, for their new channel that they are coming up with. I hope that you will continue to give the service and the information that our people are expecting. I am sure that you will be an important part of all the historical events here in the Philippines in the future. Congratulations.
Sa lahat po ng mga bumubuo at nasa likod ng TV ko to, congratulations po sa inyong paglulunsad at good luck sa inyong mga susunod na mga proyekto. Kung dati ay sa iba't ibang social media platforms natin mapapanood ang mga programa ng TV ko to, ngayon naman ay mapapanood na rin ang inyong mga programa sa Signal TV. Ito ay may tuturing na isang napakahalagang hakbang upang maabot ang mas marami nating mga kababayan sa paghahatid ng saya at impormasyon. Kaya sa ating mga kababayan, inaanyayahan ko po kayong subaybayan ang TV ko to sa Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at YouTube. Pwede rin ninyong mapanood ang kanilang programa sa Channel 107 sa Signal TV. Muli, congratulations sa lahat ng mga bumubuo ng TV ko to. Hangad ko po ang inyong tagumpay.
Congratulations to TV Koto. I wish you success on this mission to educate, entertain, and serve our people. May you truly create meaningful impact on the life of this community and become an instrument of positive change in society. Mabuhay po ang TV ko. Ito po Senator Francis Torres.
Good luck sa TVQ2, a newborn TV network and social media channel. Please watch its viral, informative, and educational shows on Channel 107 on Signal TV. Good luck, TVQ2!
Congratulations to Signal TV on the launch of TVQ2 on Channel 107. I wish you all the best as you grow your audience through informative and educational programming.
Good day to all and congratulations to everyone behind the launch of Signal TV, Channel 107 in partnership with TVQ2. Media has always played a huge role in informing our people through its news programs, educational shows, and other creative television content. Indeed, most of our Filipino brothers and sisters receive updates through television and other forms of media. Yet, as technology provides new avenues for information dissemination and awareness, it can also be a source of fake news and misinformation. I therefore hope that Channel 107 will be the government's partner in delivering accurate and factual information to the people. I also hope that Channel 107 will showcase the best of our talents in the media industry by promoting Filipino ingenuity and creativity. Let us patronize our own shows that exhibit good values and learnings, not just for the majority of Filipino viewers, but also for the younger generation who will soon be our future leaders and change makers. As I end, I would like to congratulate everyone behind this momentous event. I am truly honored to be invited to this occasion, and I wish Channel 107 success.
When you trust the women, nai-empower mo na
You
siya.
need to understand na lahat talaga nagkakaroon ng adjustments.
Explain yourself too much, we're all on survival mode. Forgetting is not healing, you know?
Kailangan ng psychological clearance.
Dito pa rin sa programang Women! 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 Pampaganda ng umaga. Pampa GV. Yes, pampaganda. Good.
Kulang na nga kami sa tubig. Minsan na nga lang may tubig, gabi na nga lang. Tapos kulay brown pa.
So kulang tayo talaga ng water impounding just for the household use.
We have to balance the need to protect public health saka yung quest for justice.
Short but very striking, may impact.
There's no balance there at all kasi everyone is scared for their lives.
Pag-document kasi hindi mo siya makikita kung authentic ba siya, genuine, sa video conference.
Dahil nabawasan po yung kanilang work rate, mababawasan din po yung kanilang kita.
I think nature is sending us a message to go back to the basics, embrace living a minimal life.
Tuwing Huwebes, alas 8 ng gabi sa TV ko to.
I would like to congratulate TVQ2, Channel 107, for their new channel that they are coming up with. I hope that you will continue to give the service and the information that our people are expecting. I am sure that you will be an important part of all the historical events here in the Philippines in the future. Congratulations.
Sa lahat po ng mga bumubuo at nasa likod ng TV ko to, congratulations po sa inyong paglulunsad at good luck sa inyong mga susunod na mga proyekto. Kung dati ay sa iba't ibang social media platforms natin mapapanood ang mga programa ng TV ko to, ngayon naman ay mapapanood na rin ang inyong mga programa sa Signal TV. Ito ay may tuturing na isang napakahalagang hakbang upang maabot ang mas marami nating mga kababayan sa paghahatid ng saya at impormasyon. Kaya sa ating mga kababayan, inaanyayahan ko po kayong subaybayan ang TV ko to sa Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at YouTube. Pwede rin ninyong mapanood ang kanilang programa sa Channel 107 sa Signal TV. Muli, congratulations sa lahat ng mga bumubuo ng TV ko to. Hangad ko po ang inyong tagumpay.
Congratulations to TV Koto. I wish you success on this mission to educate, entertain, and serve our people. May you truly create meaningful impact on the life of this community and become an instrument of positive change in society. Mabuhay po ang TV ko. Ito po Senator Francis Tolentino.
Good luck sa TVQ2, a newborn TV network and social media channel. Please watch its viral, informative, and educational shows on Channel 107 on Signal TV. Good luck, TVQ2!
Congratulations to Signal TV on the launch of TVQ2 on Channel 107. I wish you all the best as you grow your audience through informative and educational programming.
Good day to all and congratulations to everyone behind the launch of Signal TV Channel 107 in partnership with TVQ2. Media has always played a huge role in informing our people through its news programs, educational shows, and other creative television content. Indeed, most of our Filipino brothers and sisters receive updates through television and other forms of media. Yet, as technology provides new avenues for information dissemination and awareness, it can also be a source of fake news and misinformation. I therefore hope that Channel 107 will be the government's partner in delivering accurate and factual information to the people. I also hope that Channel 107 will showcase the best of our talents in the media industry by promoting Filipino ingenuity and creativity. Let us patronize our own shows that exhibit good values and learnings, not just for the majority of Filipino viewers, but also for the younger generation who will soon be our future leaders and change makers. As I end, I would like to congratulate everyone behind this momentous event. I am truly honored to be invited to this occasion and I wish Channel 107 success.
When you trust the women, na-empower mo na
You
siya.
need to understand na lahat talaga nagkakaroon ng adjustments.
Explain yourself too much, we're all in survival. Forgetting is not healing, you know?
Kailangan ng psychological clearance.
Dito pa rin sa programang Women! 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 Pampaganda ng umaga. Pampa GV. Yes, pampagod.
Kulang na nga kami sa tubig. Minsan na nga lang may tubig, gabi na nga lang. Tapos kulay brown pa.
So kulang tayo talaga ng water impounding just for the household use.
We have to balance the need to protect public health saka yung quest for justice.
Short but very striking, may impact.
There's no balance there at all kasi everyone is scared for their lives.
Pag document kasi hindi mo siya makikita kung authentic ba siya, genuine, sa video conference.
Dahil nabawasan po yung kanilang workplace, mababawasan din po yung kanilang kita.
I think nature is sending us a message to go back to the basics, embrace living a minimal life.
Tuwing Huwebes, alas 8 ng gabi sa TV Ko To.